So someone wrote this to me last night. They said, I often feel crazy for believing or wanting to worship the ancient gods. It's a deep need that I have, although I wish I didn't have this need. How do you finally accept the gods and feel comfortable with worshiping them? I was very sad to hear this. The gods have been worshipped for centuries before the rise of other religions that would take over for political reasons, through conquests, and so forth. So the gods should never be something to be ashamed of wanting to worship. And today we're going to talk about that. So centuries ago, the gods of Olympus were actively worshipped in homes, cities, festivals, parties, with no question asked. They were not a joke. They were taken very seriously. But through the years, as I mentioned, through conquests, through political reasons, through X, Y, and Z reasons, the gods over the centuries have been told to be false, and they are fake stories for children like fairy tales, although they were worshipped for centuries and not to believe so. The reason being is that the gods were not fake, are not fake, and nothing to be ashamed of if you are wanting to connect and worship and honor the gods of Olympus. Zeus, Hera, Apollo, Artemis, Dionysus, all those gods are very much real, and they are not fake or anything to be ashamed of. Now, I didn't feel sad because the person was ashamed or felt silly worshiping or wanting to honor the gods. I felt sad because of the society we live in, that through the centuries that our parents, grandfathers, their parents, their parents, their parents, their parents, their parents have been told so many centuries of how false and how silly and how they're bedtime stories for kids and so forth, that society has come to where we're at now, that the gods to the majority have become nothing more than Disney cartoons and fairy tales. And that's why people that are interested in maybe looking into Zeus or anything outside of the mainstream religions, they feel silly because that's what they've been told through centuries of what don't want to call it, but it's kind of a brainwashing. When you're told this for hundreds of years, this is where it comes to. But we have to look back to the ancient ancestors, even some of our ancestors. They even prayed to the gods of Olympus. Maybe they weren't necessarily Greek, but the prayer and worship of the what we call Greek gods was something not just Greek people did. It spread across the land and local regions. So some of your ancestors, of people who are watching this video, your ancestors hundreds of years ago may have prayed to the gods as well. And I mean the gods of Zeus, Hera, and everyone in that pantheon. The reason why we pray to these gods is that we feel a connection to it where we didn't in the mainstream majority of religions. To feel a connection to the divine is not something to be ashamed of. If you feel interested in exploring this, go for it. The gods were real, like I said, hundreds of years ago. They still are, but the majority knew they were real centuries ago. And then the gods have not changed. We've changed through brainwashing and being told for so long what they are and are not. So never feel ashamed for wanting connection with those gods, because the gods are real. They were real, and the people who worship and honored those gods were happy. They were not depressed under sad times, and that was the only thing they had. So they didn't have the option to pray to this god, and that's the only reason they worship Zeus and that. That's not true. they had their choice and they were happy with praying to these gods that gave them spiritual satisfaction. Anyway, this is a pride video, I guess you could say, because I'm kind of tired of being ashamed and having that guilt for having my beliefs to honor gods who are actively worshipped and who were 100% actively worshipped all those years ago. Like I said, the gods have never changed. It's just people's opinion through circumstance is what's changed. So never feel ashamed to honor spirituality and deities who are actually honored. All right, guys. And so there you go. So never feel ashamed. If you feel a connection to the gods, definitely explore it. And thanks to today's age, we have social media, YouTube videos. We have so much at our hands. And books are easily accessible now, where years ago it'd be hard. You had to go to your bookstore. But now that we have online interactions, not just with people, but being able to search for books easier, it's made things way easier. So it's really cool. Anyway, guys, I'm not ashamed, and I'm tired of feeling of that guilt. No more. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.